Hey there, I'm Chef Bruce Brown, and I'm excited to share some great recipes with you today. Here at Bruce's Fabulous Foods in Marion, North Carolina, we prepare some of the most exciting dishes in the whole Southeast. My passion is wholesome, tasty, fresh-cooked foods using only the finest local ingredients. Now today, thanks to Ingles, I'm going to cook with you. I'm going to show you how to bring some fabulous and delicious meals right to your kitchen table. Come on, let's get started. We're starting out here at Ingles today to get ingredients for me to make one of my most unique flavors of hummus, sun-dried tomato and basil. For a full list of all the ingredients, check out the shopping list underneath the video player. You can print a list and take it with you or pull it up on your phone when you're at the store. Come on, let's get cooking. Here we are. We've got all of our ingredients from Ingles and we're getting ready to make my sun-dried tomato and basil hummus, a different flavor from the traditional standard variety. We have some very basic ingredients that you start all hummuses with just about. The first one, of course, is garlic. So in my food processor, my favorite kitchen appliance, I'm going to grab, as much garlic as I like. I like a little extra, makes your breath smell even better. About 7 or 8 cloves of garlic, throw those in there with sun-dried tomatoes. Now, these are dried sun-dried tomatoes. We're going to put about half a cup's worth in there. If you use sun-dried tomatoes that come out of a jar with oil on them, you'll be able to use a little less oil later in the recipe. Then I have 2 15-ounce cans of garbanzo beans that I'm just going to drain, just like this. You don't have to let them drain a real long time. They're pretty loose like that. And put those in the food processor too. Lid on. And pulse. Enough to get everything started, and then I put it on low so that it will really start to grind up the sun-dried tomatoes with the garbanzo beans. Okay, time to take the lid off the food processor there. Next ingredient is tahini. Now, tahini is very Middle Eastern. It is a roasted sesame seed paste. You use about a half a cup, but when you buy tahini at the store, a lot of times it is settled and separated from the oil. So you have to stir it up and make sure that the oil is distributed equally. About half a cup, but I just eyeball it, just like this. Tahini, if you happen to get to a store that doesn't have it in stock at that time, if you would like, you can substitute creamy peanut butter for the tahini, but if you use a half cup of tahini, you want to use a 1/3 cup of peanut butter. To this, we're going to add some of our spices. I've got about a teaspoon of salt. You don't want a lot of salt. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of basil, because this is a sun-dried tomato and basil hummus, and a 1.5 tablespoons of dried ground cumin. Cumin is another standard spice that is very, very popular, very prevalent in almost all kinds of hummus. To this, we're going to start it all over again on low, move it up to high, and carefully pour in, drizzle in about 1/3 cup to 1/2 cup of lemon juice. I always make sure that I get all the bits and pieces out, scrape down the sides. You will notice that the hummus is starting to change a little bit of color due to the sun-dried tomatoes. It's going to end up with like a brick red kind of color. Scrape down the sides and put it back on high. And now we're going to drizzle in a little olive oil here at the very end. No more than 1/2 cup. Once again, scrape down the sides. Make sure all the ingredients are getting ground up, especially the garlic. But by this time, the garlic should be pulverized in there quite well. And one final run. Now you can see it's starting to change color as the sun-dried tomatoes are getting more finely chopped up in the hummus. From there, I have a nice plate here with some grilled pita bread. We make our own pita chips here at the restaurant at Bruce's Fabulous Foods. And we'll just go on ahead and scrape some out. Right into the bowl.
Bruce, will you move that bag of sun-dried tomatoes? Perfect, thank you.
The more that you grind up the hummus, the finer and more pureed it is, the farther it goes, because you're also whipping a little bit of air into it also. So you can make it thick and chunky, you can make it a little bit thinner and smoother, whatever your preference is. But this is Bruce's sun-dried tomato and basil hummus. I like to take just a little bit more basil and just sprinkle it right on top to garnish, just like this. We're out of time for today, but I want to thank you so much for joining us here at the Ingles Table. Sun-dried tomato and basil hummus, and if you find that you like another flavor, be adventurous. Use the base recipe and try some other different ingredients. You can find this recipe, videos, photos, and more on the website at inglestable.com. Until next time, hey, I'll see you online.